We back, man. Excuse the wait. I had to motherfucking wash up and all type of shit, bro. I'm just trying to wash my face, do everything, get comfortable for the stream. Empty my bladder fully. Do everything, man. Start taking this shit a lot more seriously. Which, if you don't know, is even harder, when you are tired like I always am at this time of night. So that's the conundrum I'm in, right? Is I like doing this shit when I'm relaxed, but most of the time when I'm relaxed, I'm tired. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired, so I don't always feel as if I'm in the mood. I mean, I feel as if I'm in the mood, but I always have built the habits, I guess you could say, of skipping over the production element. So we're gonna start taking the presentation aspect of everything I'm doing a little more serious for various reasons. One being uh, just to know the effectiveness to begin to produce and put together um, a product with the that is constructed and designed in the best way to be effective. You know what I'm saying, to get my messaging out. So uh, just come up with a blueprint or a look aesthetics wise. Um, just simply said, creating the look of the product. You know what I'm saying? Structuring the look and the design of the product, being talking head style content that's going to uh, pierce different industries. I guess we'll say it like that. Penetrate different industries. So that's all about coming on here, making sure you look presentable. And this is just on some behind the scenes shit, brainstorm shit, and this is just how I'm trying to do it in a production way, anyways. But people are gonna have to look at you, feel you, understand you, want to know what you're saying, and that's the whole premise behind putting your voice and your face out there. You know what I'm saying? Is you're projecting and pitching and promoting an image of yourself, presenting an image of yourself, I guess you could say, in that light. Uh, Towards a viewer audience, you know what I'm saying? And so what that comes with being arranged and aligned appropriately to where whatever message it is that you're trying to get off is being uh, egged towards your viewership audience correctly. You know what I'm saying? Basically, in short, and in layman's terms, making it as easy as possible to get your point across, and having content that qualifies and accomplishes just that, and still, you want to ease the transference, the transferal, transferal of information. Uh, and when you hear me speaking like this, it's just because a lot of times I'm anxious. Anxiety, I have anxiety in the sense of like a positive anxiety. Like I'm excited, to get the information out. And a lot of times my brain and the elements of being on camera and things like that are more on my mind from a production standpoint, because I am the producer of the content, and it's more about the production. You know what I'm saying? And this is that process is more on my mind at the time than anything I'm saying. And so even though I have the information that I want to say and I'm aware of where I want to go with each of my conversations or things, is also the ability to do it live while appearing as if I'm at ease with everything going. And so the best way to appear as something is to be something. So whether you want to call it method acting in the most three-dimensional literal sense, or you just want to assign it to just professionalism and practice presentation, practice makes perfect, but also projection in this sense and performance require analysis. You know what I'm saying? It's just part of speech, it's part of anything presentation wise, is assessing and watching yourself and being critical. You know what I'm saying? So different elements like this, how I'm noticing the lines on my lip in real life when I'm talking, I'll just push through that because I know at the end of the day, my goal is to communicate with whoever I'm seeing on a day-to-day basis, and whether my lips are chapped or not, my mouth is fully practically functional. You know what I'm saying? So those little elements though are different on camera, and at least when you're aware of it, you can live with it, you can assess it, you can do different things. So do with that with what you may. But I got different business dealings and things that I'm lining up. So this is a byproduct and a necessity for the lane I'm about to go into, which is just basically creating different kind of content representing the different areas of interest that I wish to attack and infiltrate or have some sort of presence. You know what I'm saying? So yes, that's the genesis behind this. And doing live content and all that shit is just all about focus, having focus, you know what I'm saying, and being prepared and being aware. Yeah, just being prepared a certain way, you know what I'm saying, put together, however you want to call it, you know what I'm saying. And a lot of that too is being aware of what you look like on camera, presenting yourself. And so when you creating everything and you're doing everything but in front of the camera and behind the camera, on air, off air, development wise, production wise, structure wise, financially, economically, and you're the framework, you're the sole engineer of all of this. There's a lot of different areas you have to assess, and it feels a bit ridiculous and narcissistic, because it's like you understand that every time you sit down to do this, it's like you're presenting yourself as something to a certain group of people. But that is a vocation, and it's an effective vocation of influence, and so you just have to practice and you have to accept it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I can go into moments as a presenter, as a person, because I processed this and I practiced this shit since I was young. I've been trained in this kind of arena and field. So it's all about putting together a product and steering the line, and just even from a production or a idealist ideal standpoint, right? Like brainstorming, right? Strategic and analytical assessment standpoint is understanding, like, as far in marketing, how is understanding how certain shit looks. You know what I'm saying? So if you can understand from a viewer standpoint for yourself how certain stuff is coming off or how certain things come across, you can then adapt and develop and implement, different strategies to offset whatever effect you feel like the element of conflict is. So, meaning, if I have a problem with the way I'm acting on camera, but it's natural to me and I'm able to watch it, you have to understand that all of these different elements affect the viewing experience, the viewing perception, and the effectiveness of the content. So you're then the director, the writer, the creator, and you're also the actor, the performer. And I mean these in the vocational, literal sense. You know what I'm saying? So, you get your people who don't want to say too many ums and this and that, the third, but it's all an element of practice and developing a style. And so we'll just see with my level of dedication how much time and effort I put into this. And I like to document stuff like that because one thing that's always made me that always made me, kind of successful as a creator in any industry I was in is the amount of interest and attention I always paid to myself and, in any other right that could come off in a narcissistic sense. But I made it in a literal sense of just self-assessment, and understanding that I wanted to use my actual, because when I was first coming up in this shit, it was like I believed that the character you played had to be based on your real self as I came to age, because it's just like, even in show business or whatever, like if you're trying to make the show seem more real, you have to have props, you have to have these real life things. So I was always, under the impression that the realer the experience appeared, then the more authentic the experience and the associatively the better the experience, because of the association and the feeling of the feeling and association with actual authenticity and actualism. You know what I'm saying? Like realism, realist art. Like you see a film or a movie, and you basically can associate with it and relate with it because of its ability to appear, or what word am I looking for? Resonate with reality. When something looks and feels real and it emulates, that's the word I'm looking. The more it can emulate reality, then, in my opinion, that's better. And from my observation, it's always better. And I'm seeing it's more effective in the real world with actual people. And then, that could be a blanket statement. That's a subjective statement. But to me, it's an objective statement, and meaning that if we was to go off of statistics and the methods in which humans interact and behave and the way things play out, it's a larger macrocosmic idea behind it. And that's just basically what my message is the importance and influence of realism. Obviously I got into it because it was effective on me, but then, when something's effective on you, it's like somebody that enjoys wine and becomes addicted to wine because of its effect, and then you then reverse engineer and try to study and become an expert of the phenomenon of whatever effect chain, cause and effect chain, is caused by said element. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the way I think. That's the way I put shit together. It's really more for myself. Like, I'm creating content that I think is good because if I understand it, once I make it for me, I could break it down and repurpose it and rebrand it towards different demographics. So, yeah, just like the idea of like sometimes I'm like, all right, I need a crispy ass lineup, this and that. But then the fact that, you know, got wavy hair, different cultures, you know, every culture don't have a lineup and this, you know, if niggas with different texture of hair. So it's just all about the appearance, the naturality of everything. But then there's sometimes, boom, a fresh ass lineup, a certain look. It just goes a longer way, you know what I'm saying? Or a cleaner face, me without my glasses. It's just different elements of different things that I try out. So, mind you, I consume my content, and so I'm able to speak in different octaves, different tones. I have different abilities, and I'm aware of different things. And often in my life, I would think these things are weird. These things are not taboo or cliche, just lame, just whatever. But as I'm getting older, I'm understanding that these are elements of a vocation and profession and something that I've been into, and these are a lot of things that are just elements of the performance and presentation fields. And then those, whether it's public speaking or acting or being in a government and or leading militaristically. So these are all different professions that require these certain skills and combine different talents and abilities into a said vocation for a certain goal or purpose. So with that being said, you could study these different positions and professions and all of these things, and you can educate yourself about specific abilities that they have on human behavior. And so I'm here to create a platform where I'm going to try to present information and edification towards the issues and interest of my interest, or the ideas or the elements of my interest. You know, the things I fucking like. How about that? You know what I'm saying? And that's a thing too, being in presentation and entertainment, I guess you could say, performance or service or whatever field you want to call it. You do have to find and practice different ways to get your point across, and it's all about. And the crazier thing about it, what people don't understand is, it's about picking the right words and getting your point across the right way, the most effective way. That's just a part and an element of the industry, whether it is you're performative for entertainment purposes or for educational purposes. Is a performance that you have to put on. But the premise is, once you become, the more skilled you become at utilizing these abilities to achieve your overall goal and push your message, then the less performative process wise it feels. You know what I'm saying? Like, it becomes more natural. So the whole point of it is, you do it enough times, you study enough to understand what's the best, most effective way. Because here's the thing, when I'm talking to a person in real life, I I I avoid and I go past the liberty, or yes, the ability to actually hear myself from the third person perspective or the second person perspective, you know? So it's hard to understand what you sound like and look like when you talk because you're speaking outward. You know, you're the person. So even if you were to look in the mirror, it's just an emulation of the actual experience. So uh, we'll be back when I got other things to talk about because this is getting, it feels kind of staged or redundant and I'm running out of gas and energy. So we'll resume this when I feel like it. I always feel better thinking and strategizing when I'm not on camera because I don't feel like I'm wasting time, footage, energy, or being watched. So that's an element of practicing, is just practicing every day, doing different things and throwing different things, see what sticks. So suck me.